Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another second stimulus check and second stimulus package update. So today I want to take a revisit once again to the $300/$400 unemployment benefits boost extension with FEMA and the LWA program, because it has been a couple of days. I have really great news to share, which I'm really happy about to be able to share with you guys. And actually, I'll just say it flat out right now, and it is basically that every single state, as crazy as it is to think, all 50 states except South Dakota, as always, has officially been approved for the unemployment benefits boost extension, including Nevada/Las Vegas. And I say that because I know in the last video they were the last state that struggled to be able to get approved. Well, now even Nevada has officially been approved, especially because I know Nevada was hit particularly really hard by the pandemic because of Las Vegas, and it's one of the biggest places in terms of like tourism, hospitality, casinos. I know that industry was hit very hard. So that is the really great news to share. The other great news is that more than half of this country has officially received their deposit right into their bank account, and even more states will now be receiving by the end of this week. So really great news to share with you guys. Smash the like button in light of this great news, and also consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification button if you are brand new here, because I have great news to share, and I have actually even greater news to share in future videos that I want to be able to share in this video, but because of time length reasons I'll have to push it into the other videos, including the potential of another stimulus package that recently just came out that will potentially extend the unemployment benefits boost extension even longer. Not the skinny bill that we talked about, but another brand new one that was actually recently talked about between the Republicans and the Democrats. But we'll talk more about that in a future video, so definitely subscribe and hit the bell for the notifications about that in the future. So in today's video, I'm going to basically be giving you guys a brand new update once again about the unemployment benefits boost extension for the first part, and then ending this with basically answering some more common questions that a lot of people have been wondering. But if you guys have any questions along, or even any questions right now, feel free to comment down below, or really any thoughts at all, or even if it's just like your state and the current status of whether or not your state has currently paid out yet and whether or not you guys have received it. Always great to know, especially from people that are actually in that particular state. But we're going to cover the unemployment update, and we're going to answer some common questions such as how long the retroactive is going to last, what you guys basically have to do, what happens if you guys run out of effective days. That's what we're going to basically cover in today's video. Stay tuned for that. So as you guys have heard earlier, yes, the great news to share is that every single state except South Dakota has officially been approved for the unemployment benefits boost extension, including Nevada, and more than half of this country has officially paid out, and even more will be paying out by the end of this week. As always, we're going to start by throwing this table up right here. And once again, this table is updated every single day, so it's basically as updated as it possibly can be. It does change once in a while, but likely if it does change, it'll change because of actual news from like the state websites and all that stuff, or from other different resources. But basically, as of this time, you guys can scroll through and find your state. If it says paid, it means that it has officially been paid. So congratulations if you are from one of those states. If it says depleted, it means that it was already paid, but they're potentially out of money right now, or they're currently on some kind of pause. But we'll talk a little bit more about later, so definitely watch all the way to the end about that. But the number that's next to the date, that's right in the middle, that's basically how many weeks have officially been paid in your state. As of the time that I'm making this video right now, I believe 6 states have officially been marked as depleted, which means that they're basically now either have already paid out all 6 weeks of their payment and what they were owed, or they're currently running low on cash. And I believe 8 states have officially paid out 6 entire complete weeks retroactive. 27 states have officially paid. 7 states, or actually basically 7 to 8 states, will basically be paying by the end of this week, including New York. In fact, New York has actually already started to roll out today, actually, as I've started to make this particular video. I do believe that I think in New York, they've already started to get the ball rolling, but it does take a couple of days to basically get it arriving, so that is something to note. But basically, by the end of this week, the likelihood is that 2/3 of this country will basically have officially been paid / received their unemployment benefits boost extension deposited right into their bank account. Now, I know it was also frequently asked that if you see your state that's currently marked paid and it hasn't actually been paid or you haven't actually received it yet, likely there's really only two reasons that likely probably happened. The first is because of qualifications, and I think most people have probably already been qualified, but basically all it really is that you have to have, as we kind of already mentioned, is that you have to have already been collecting $100 per week or more on your regular state unemployment to qualify, and you also have had to have marked that you lost your job because of the pandemic-based reasons. So if that's not the case, the likelihood is your state will likely actually send you some kind of form so you guys can basically mark that. But the big thing, as long as you're able to at least collect $100 or more per week, then it means that you should officially be approved for. Now, in terms of if you're still waiting around and there's some kind of delay, the very likelihood reason, honestly, is probably just because it just is taking time to settle. That's really what it is because there's sometimes like that when the state starts to roll out their payment, it takes time to kind of process. Very, very similar how sometimes like if you buy something with like a credit card, you might actually swipe it, but it might take maybe like a few days or so to physically show up into your bank account. The likelihood is that it's coming, but it's simply, I would just literally honestly just give it a couple of days. This is especially true with New York because I think New York originally announced that they were going to do it beginning of this week, and I think they did actually. They're starting to kind of start to work on that process, but I think New York has not actually physically sent their payment out. I found this directly right onto the New York State Labor Twitter page, officially right from New York State, right here. So it basically says right there that, you know, New York, every single person, hopefully in New York, should receive it by the end of this week. So that is the really, really promising news. And then I know probably the two common questions that a lot of people have been wondering. One is basically what happens if you run out of effective days. I believe for that question, the answer for that question is that it depends on your state, but for the majority of states, and I can certainly say in New York, based directly from a lot of the people that I have talked to, so from firsthand experience, and also directly from their actual, once again, their state website / Twitter page right here, that supposedly they've already basically extended it right inside of their servers, so you would basically just continue to keep claiming exactly like how you would normally have been able to claim. The other common question I know that a lot of people asked was also whether or not they should receive it together or separate. The answer to that is that it actually should come separately, and the answer is because kind of goes back to what I said, is that the funds that they use for the FEMA LWA program is different than the one for the regular state unemployment. And that's actually the reason why there's been so much delay lately, is exactly because they come from different resources. That's kind of why it took a while to plan out the logistics. The regular state unemployment comes from the state. The $300 or / if you are from New York or many other states right now, including the retroactive for $900, that basically comes from FEMA, a separate fund that they're currently using. So together, they should come separately, but it'll basically total up to basically your state unemployment plus your FEMA, which likely will be $900 or however amount that your state agreed to do. And as mentioned before, the other final common question I think is basically about how long it's going to last in the retroactive situation. So it's retroactively guaranteed, as mentioned from past videos, for 3 weeks, but it can potentially go up to 6 weeks. The story about what they're going to do is in many states is that they're going to deposit 3 weeks first, pause, and then basically reevaluate to see how much money they have. It's also largely because every single week, new people apply for unemployment, and some people actually even go back to work. So because the numbers change, they have to basically look at their data, look at their budget, look at their balance, especially because FEMA is actually also used to pay for a lot of other things beyond the unemployment, because FEMA is actually also used to take care of a lot of emergency situations. And as we currently know, when you're looking around the world with like wildfire, hurricanes, property destruction, all sorts of different things, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now, so that can potentially cut into the budget. So they're going to take a look at that. If there is enough money, they're basically going to continue the unemployment all the way up until 6 weeks. Some states have luckily had the money for it, so they basically already paid out all 6 weeks, but basically for most states it's going to be 3 weeks, and that's going to be gradually evaluating the budget and hopefully shooting to slowly deposit until 6 weeks have passed. That's basically the goal. Now, I do have one quick bright news, and basically like more of like a heads up next time kind of news, but basically there is a new stimulus proposal that was recently just written, not the skinny bill, once again, a brand new package. Long story short is that I was actually very surprised that this package is potentially going to extend the unemployment by, I believe, about $450 for another several weeks. And this was apparently written by both the Republicans and the Democrats, so there's a lot of great news about that, but we're going to talk more about that in future videos. So for this video, I wanted to cover the FEMA unemployment benefits boost extension. Smash the like button if you made it this far. Feel free to comment any thoughts, questions at all, or really even once again about your state and the current status, whether or not you guys have received it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys next time. Again, remember to like this video, subscribe, hit the bell notification button, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for always coming around, and great to see familiar faces and also to welcome new faces. Thank you guys so much again. See you guys next time.